Hello, my name is Marc Delandre, and I must speak to you today about the fire of the Cathedral of Notre-Dame in Paris. I am 57 years old, Belgian intelligence agent in counter-terrorism. I belong to an organization called Gladio, Gladio. It's more exactly a branch of NATO, and they are specialized in the false flag operations. It means they make military operations and they want that you believe in another origin, like a terrorist attack, natural disasters, massive shootings by unbalanced men. But in fact, all these events have been orchestrated by the same organization, Gladio, sword in Italian. Gladio was created in 1956 and forcibly dissolved in the 90s in Europe. But they continued to secretly to run for government and thus carry out false flag operations to manipulate the European population and the US population. Gladio has its headquarters in Belgium, close to those of NATO. And Gladio is headed by a Belgian man, whom I call him the High Officer. He and I have known each other for about 40 years, at least. We are from the same village. He made his career as a high officer paid by the Belgian state and head of Gladio. And me, I am a computer scientist from the beginning. A few years ago, the high officer had chosen to denounce all the attacks that he had to organize in Europe or around the world in behalf of Gladio. And he chose me to denounce everything. Initially, he took the dates, times, and place of my life to plan these attacks. It's a bit like taking the date of my wedding, the origin of my wife, her city, to fix the date and the location for a new attack. And he did the same for my first job, my first child, and so on. It was the case for the attacks in 2015 and 2016, including the ones in Paris and Brussels. In addition, he took the time to send me, for these attacks in Paris and Brussels, some emails that I will understand later. And these emails were sent to me at the exact hours of these attacks. But in 2017, my existence was not enough to fix these dates of attacks. So he asked to create a signal on my internet server. And this signal, follows all the action of Gladio around the world. It is on this signal that it signs in real time all their operations. The latest was the Christchurch attack, the false Christchurch attack in New Zealand. Christchurch means the Church of Christ. This April 15, it was Notre-Dame in Paris, another Church of Christ, a cathedral. The operation in Christ Church had been launched just when I had just finished the French version of the Gladio book, the Gladio's Code. On April 12, 2019, I warned the French and the Belgian authorities that I was about to finish the English version of this book, the Gladio Code, and that a new action was to be feared. I finished this book, the English version, yesterday, just a little before 4 p.m. Immediately, I saw on my internet server that Gladio launched a new operation, and it was Notre-Dame. For more information, I invite you to search my other videos and interviews and my profile and my Facebook page. Both exist. I warned already that much worse will happen when both versions of this book, the French and the English version, will be correct and put online. A first part of these two versions already exist on the internet. Here, I am very sorry to be the one at the origin of the fire of Notre-Dame, without being the author, of course. But I had warned the authorities. I have been trying to inform the authorities for several years, but they do not want to do anything. I do it because it's my mission. It's my job of Gladio, forced job. No one can do anything against Gladio, since Gladio belongs to NATO, and Gladio responds to the governments.